Good morning, my friends. Happy weekend. I hope you've got a great weekend planned. I have no idea what's in store for my weekend as I'm recording this. It's only halfway through the week, so who knows? But one thing we can guarantee, well, for now we can, is that we started off with collage stories. How are you enjoying the series? I hope you're really digging this. I hope you're keen to give building a collage a go. Even if you don't build a story into it, you do not have to be a storyteller. It's just the way I like to do it. So the story part of it is part of me. It's part of what I love doing. You don't have to do a story, but if you want to do a story, I would love that as well. So most of you probably now are familiar with it, but if you're not, please stick with me, watch, see what you think. It's typically a shorter video, around, can be anything from 8 minutes to 22 minutes. So shorter video. So I've got the prompts here that we pulled at the end of last week's video. And these are from Kiki from Nia Designs on YouTube. So I'll link her channel, and she is doing the collages and making up a story. So do head along and check her out. So the prompts that we've got from Kiki today are puppy, window, chewing gum, car, and shoes. And the sixth prompt that I've added is piece of a crossword or puzzle. So that's what we're working with today. Let me grab out my paper. This is the one that we did last week. So if you want to catch out the story of Jeremiah, the leatherback turtle, head along to last week's video and give that a watch. It's about 21 minutes, I think, the video. So they're not huge videos. And fun little story about Jeremiah the turtle. So we have a puppy. I'm guessing it's a puppy. I mean, dog, puppy. We're calling it a puppy. We have window. I've got this lovely scene here of a living room. Chewing gum. I struggled with chewing gum. That was a really hard one to find. So I ended up going online and finding a picture. And so there's a pair of jeans, and this hand is pulling off chewing gum off the back of the jeans. And I thought that was quite fun. My printer had a bit of a mission, so it's got lines through it, but never mind. It doesn't have to be perfect. Car. I've got this picture here of all these little toy cars on carpet. Shoes. There's a bunch of shoes hanging on a wall from a really cool article about a shoemaker. So I thought that was quite fun. And then a piece of a crossword or puzzle. I've got this list of clues from a crossword. So there was another crossword on the back, but this is the clues for a crossword. So I know I want this picture down first. I've kind of got an idea on composition, but I don't know yet where I'm going to put my prompt list, so I need to remember that. So, whoops, glue on the paper. How was your week? Did you get some creating time in the week? I've had quite a busy week, and it's only Wednesday as I'm recording this, so it's been quite busy. I'm out all day this Friday. I've got to pick up my mother-in-law from her week of cancer treatment so that we can take her home on Friday evening. I've got the groceries to do on Friday, and I was supposed to meet up with a friend on Friday, but because I have to go into town to pick up my mother-in-law, it was like I just can't fit everything in. So because I have to go to Christchurch to pick up my mother-in-law, I may as well visit my mum. So I'll have a quick visit with my mum, pick up my mother-in-law, do the groceries in the morning. Yeah, it's going to be a fairly busy day. Now I think I want this down here, something like that. Maybe we'll put our cars on, and I kind of want to cover up the table and that foreground in the picture. It means we've got some odd things popping out, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's fine. It's a collage. And I'm not worried about getting it, you know, looking seamless because it's a collage. I've changed my mind on the direction I was going with for this collage. All morning I've like I've got this really cool car image I cut out for this collage, and then I changed direction on something else, and it's just too many options. I think my mind was going in many different ways that I could take the prompts to weave into a story, and then what elements I wanted to create the story with. And I had a couple of different window options, but we're doing it. We're gluing it down and calling it good. Right, so that's kind of the base layer. I think I'll play with the rest a little bit before I commit. I think I want the dog to be sitting on the couch there. I think that would be quite cute in front of the window. So where am I going to put my prompts? Maybe here. Maybe, whoops, sorry puppy, just sent you for a skate. Maybe here. I think I like this better because I can have this end poking out rather than this, my handwriting. I think I'd rather do it that way. So this is going to be the pocket. Right, let's glue this down. If you're wondering why I'm using tacky glue for this, it's my usual go-to. A few reasons for that. One, it's just quick and easy and no mess, and I don't end up with any glue stick marks on the front of my pieces to ruin the look of my collage. Two is if I want to get fancy and kind of lay things like one element underneath something and on top of something else, I can glue it in the middle and then get in under the edges to glue it where I need to. Hopefully that actually makes sense. Right, I'll put you down on the couch there, Mr. Puppy. And I've already got a name for the story that I'm going to be telling. And I'm rather tickled with myself. I thought it was just very cute idea for a story title. So we'll get to that in due course. Just give me one moment, take care of my nose. It's quite a bit cooler today than it was yesterday, so right, so we're going to put, I don't want to cover up all the cars, that would be a bit nonsensical, so I think I want it above these cars. We only need one to be showing, but it kind of, it's part of the story, so I want to make sure I get as many of them showing as possible. Right, so this is our pocket, so I'm just gluing on 3 sides. So we end up covering 2 of the cars, and then, whoops, be helpful if it was the right way up. So we've ended up covering most of that like glass dome that was in the background image. We've still got some of the plant, which is fine. Disguising bits as we go. Okay, so we're all done, I think. We've got, just double check I've actually put everything on. Puppy, window, chewing gum, car, shoes, and piece of crossword or puzzle. And that will go in there. Lovely. So before I forget, I'm going to put a 4 on this because it's the 4th one in our series. Okay, so let's have a wee story time. So today's story is called Gummy Bear. You might see where I'm going with this, but I think it's just so cute. So we've got the normal family situation going on. The kids have been playing with their toys, and as kids do, they just walked away, left their toys scattered on the floor. So we've got our toy cars here. And part of the reason that they're no longer playing with the cars is because the youngest child, the youngest girl in the family has homework, and she hadn't done her homework yet. And Mum was like, come on, Cindy, do your homework. You need to do your homework. You can play later. And so she was at the desk in the corner, and she had spelling lists to work on. She had spelling. She wants to be in the spelling bee, but in order to be in the school spelling bee, she needs to practice, she needs to learn, she needs to do her spelling exercises. So this is her list. We're pretending this is her list of her spelling to do. So she's sitting at the desk in the living room working on her spelling and getting her spelling right. She's quite good, but she still needs to practice, because if we want to stay good, we need to keep learning, don't we? So we've got this lovely family situation in the living room, and it's a really lovely day outside. And Mum's like sits down and she's reading a book while she just has a bit of quiet time while the children are doing homework and doing other things. And she comes to get up and she's like, oh, it's hard to get up. Something's sticking me. So she finally stands up, and she puts her hand around onto her bottom, and she can feel something really sticky. So she whips off to the bedroom, changes her pants, and has a look, and oh, disgusting. She's pulling up these big threads of chewing gum off of her jeans, and she's like, where on earth did this chewing gum come from? I don't chew gum. My children are not allowed to chew gum. We're not going to go into any issues of why they're not allowed to chew gum, but it's just something that she won't have in her house. And she's like, where has this chewing gum come from? So the first thing she does is takes care of the jeans, puts them in the laundry, deal with those later. But it's like, where has this chewing gum come from? So she starts on a hunt through the house. First thing to check, the children's shoes. Likely suspects, don't you think? Tracked in from school or the playground. So she goes and she finds all their shoes and she checks them all one by one. She takes them over to the window, checks them in the light, turns them round. Even if there's just the slightest hint of residue, she wants to know where that chewing gum come from. So there was nothing on the children's shoes. She had to admit that perhaps it wasn't the children after all. So she's like, oh, well, maybe it's actually my fault. Maybe I have tracked in the chewing gum. So she went to her closet and she went through all her shoes, held them up to the light of the window, and not a hint of chewing gum to be seen. So then she went through her husband's shoes. Maybe hubby's the one to blame. Where's he been that he's picked up chewing gum? Maybe on the train or the subway. We don't have a subway here in New Zealand, but I'm trying to be territory inclusive. So she goes through all his shoes next. Holds them up to the light of the window, inspects them thoroughly. Again, not a hint of chewing gum. She did find some other bits and pieces, like a little bit of bird poo here and a leaf there and a stone caught up here. So as she went, she did a bit of cleaning as well, because she thought, well, I'm going through them. I might as well take care of those little bits and pieces. So she did. She cleaned up the soles where they had bits stuck to them, but no chewing gum residue to be found. Not a clump, not a whisker of chewing gum. And she was bit puzzled. It's like, where has this chewing gum come from? And she was very frustrated. She wanted to solve this mystery because she didn't want chewing gum to appear anywhere else. So if there was chewing gum in the house that had been tracked in, she wanted it dealt with so that it wouldn't continue to be spread around the house. So, shoes. Nothing on the shoes. What else, she thought? What else could have it? Oh, she had an idea. The children's backpacks, the school bags. So she went back to the children's rooms and she thoroughly inspected every backpack and the lunch boxes. She thought maybe the children had been given some at school at lunchtime or something, and so she checked their lunch boxes, all the while thinking they should have put these lunch boxes out in the kitchen to be washed. So she made a mental note to remind the children they need to put their lunch boxes out in the kitchen at the end of the school day. But she found no trace of any chewing gum on anything. So she sat on one of the children's beds and it was like, where's it come from? Where? And she thought, oh no, have I put my handbag? I was out in the park earlier today. I went out for a coffee and sat on a park bench for, maybe it's my fault. So she went into her own closet again and she held up her handbag. Nothing. And she was quite relieved because cleaning it off the handbag would have been not so much fun because her handbag was not a cheap brand, and she was like, I could have ruined it, but no, it was clear. No chewing gum there. So she was like, did I use that handbag? Maybe I didn't use that handbag. So she went and she checked her other handbags as well. All 10 of them, half of them she's never used, but she checked them because she's just getting so frustrated on this mystery. So all of this searching, all of this work, and she spent a good hour searching and thinking and wondering and pondering and getting frustrated. So she heads into the living room and her daughter is still working on her spelling, so she felt quite pleased about that. And she sat on the couch again after checking that there was none still on the couch. No, it had all transferred to her jeans. So she sat on the couch and she was a bit grumpy by now. She was like, where's the chewing gum come from? I've looked everywhere. I've looked on the shoes, I've looked on the bags, I've looked on the lunch boxes. And just then, the family dog, the puppy, young puppy, came bounding across the living room and jumped up beside her and started licking her all over. And she says, Bear, stop it. Bear, stop it. No licking. No licking. Stop it. And she puts out her hand to give him a pat. And what do you think she found? All stuck up in his fur, she found some chewing gum. Poor Bear. He was in a bad state. It was all clumped and matted, and during the day he'd been rolling on the furniture because he's allowed up on the couch. And he had transferred it to the couch where the mum had sat in it. But he still had it in his fur. Mystery solved. She knew where the chewing gum had come from, but she wasn't happy because poor Bear was sticky and gummy, and to try and get it out of his fur was going to be really hard. And she knew to get chewing gum out, you could freeze it and it makes it easy to come out, but she couldn't put Bear in the freezer. That wouldn't be good for him. So she had to now, before dinner time, tackle Bear's sticky, matted coat. Poor puppy. Poor mum, who had to deal with the mess. But she had solved the mystery. Our dear, poor little Gummy Bear. So there is the story today of Gummy Bear, a delightful little puppy who had a little tangle with some chewing gum. Fun. What I didn't include in the story is there's no chewing gum in the house, right? They don't have chewing gum. Is that she had taken Bear out to the park. That's why she was at the park as well as having a coffee, and he had got it in his fur when he was out in the park. But she had forgotten about, you know, she thought it was one of the children, to be honest. There we go, my friends. That is today's collage and today's story. I hope you enjoyed it. I had so much fun putting it together. Thank you, Kiki, for the prompts. So we're going to tuck that in there. And let's pull our prompt list for next week. So got the stack here. Just a reminder, please, just in case you're new here, please leave me prompts down in the description, not description box, in the comment box, a list of 5 prompts. And then if I pick your prompts, then I will do a collage and try and work a story into it. So if you want to be part of the fun, if you want to pop back and see what I do with your prompts, if they get pulled, I'd love to have you join me. Right, let's just do kind of, I've got my eyes closed, a quick sort of shuffle as much as I can shuffle them. It's just photocopy paper, so they're not, you know, not like playing cards that I can do a proper shuffle. Whoops, dropping some. So I'm just kind of trying to randomize them as much as I can so that we don't know what we're going to end up with, or I don't. You can kind of see. Right, and we're going to go this one on top. So whatever it is the one we're going with. Open the eyes. Oh, upside down. Kimberly. Yay. Now, Kimberly, I know that in some places you use the name Kim. Could you let me know what you prefer, whether you prefer Kim or Kimberly? That would be awesome. So the prompts for next week, magical creature. Oh, already this is going to be fun. Going to be interesting finding a magical creature. I think looking in some storybooks will be the way to go there. Purple, hexagons, tree or leaf, and mushrooms. That's going to be a cool one. And I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is write 5 on that, just in case I keep them on a clip beside my desk. If I number it now, if they drop and I, you know, get mixed up or something, I'll know which one's next because I've pre-numbered it. So there we go. We have done our collage. We've drawn our prompt list for next week. And it's the weekend, so go have some fun, my friends. Take care, and I'll see you again on Monday. Bye.